Okay. Clay storage and cleanup. So at the end of the day, you are going to have your clay piece. Let's say it looks as lovely as mine. You're going to have your clay piece and you're going to want to put it away for the day. If you just set it out like this in the cabinet, it will dry out completely overnight and you'll have to restart, which that's not fun, especially after you get going and you have this really awesome thing that you've created. So we need to make sure that we are paying attention to how we are putting things away. When you do this, you will have a board. Most of you have a board. Some of you don't. Some of you have bins. So you're going to have your board or your bin. You're going to take your piece of clay and you're going to get a piece of paper towel that is damp. Okay, this is not super wet. It is not dripping by any means. So I went to the sink, got a little piece of paper towel, got it wet, and squeezed out as much water as possible. If it is dripping, that is not good. Clay and water love each other. But they also, just like if you're around your friend 24/7, you get sort of sick of them, right? So if your piece of clay gets too wet, right? If your piece of clay gets too wet, it becomes very pliable, which means that it will bend and break. So if you don't pay attention to how wet your piece of clay is, then it will just fall apart on you. Because it's too wet. It can't hold itself up anymore if it's too wet. You're essentially trying to make it into slip. So you need to take your piece of paper towel, make sure there's not a lot of water in it. All you need is for it to be damp. If your paper towel doesn't cover the whole piece, that's okay. It just needs to have some moisture inside of your garbage bag, all right? So you're gonna take your piece of, what is this? I was gonna say cardboard. Your paper towel, wrap up your clay piece. You're going to either put it on your board or into your bin, and then you're going to take your garbage bag. This is where the garbage bag comes into play. If you have a board, your board goes all the way in your garbage bag, and you try to get out as much air as possible. Pretty easy, right? If you don't have a board and you have a bin, you're going to do something a little different. You're going to take your piece and you're going to very carefully put it in the garbage bag, and then you will set it inside of your bin. So it has this surface that will help support it throughout the night and when you're traveling. You have to have your garbage bag on your piece, whether your board is in your garbage bag or your piece is in your garbage bag. You need that on there because the paper towel isn't wet enough. The paper towel isn't wet enough to keep the moisture overnight, and you don't want it wet enough to just keep the moisture overnight. So you want that garbage bag to hold the moisture for you. So that's how you're going to store your piece of clay. Have your clay, a damp paper towel, put it on your board or into your bin, on your board, and put it into your garbage bag, or put it in your garbage bag and then in your bin. Clay cleanup. You're going to have a messy table. What you're going to do is you're going to grab a sponge from the sinks. You're going to clean off the clay, your whole table, and you must, this is very important, you must dry your table. So you're going to take a piece of paper towel and you are going to dry your table all the way. You are not allowed to leave the classroom unless your tables are clean and they look good. Right, so this looks like I never even put clay on the table. That's what it's going to look like. You need to work as a team, help each other out. But you have to dry your table. If you don't dry it, it will not be clean. Pretty easy though, right? Wash, dry, same thing you do to your body, to plates and all that jazz. All right, so wash and dry, please. Pretty easy.